Hello students, Devashish again from my YouTube channel Dev's Learning Hub and my Facebook page also Dev's Learning Hub. So what we are going to learn today? We are going to learn height and distance from trigonometry. I will take two classes on height and distance. This is the first class where I will show you what is height and distance in trigonometry. I mean, what is the use of it with real life example and with couple of examples. So this is my first class of height and distance from trigonometry of class 10. Okay, let's start it. Very real life example. अब रास्ते से जा रहे हो, अब देख रहे हो बहुत ऊंचा एक बिल्डिंग है, मल्टी स्टोरीड बिल्डिंग. I mean it's 52 storied, whatever it could be. It's a very high rise building. Don't you feel? I mean, what is the height of this building? It's such a tall tower, or it's a electric pole, or it's a very tall tree. While you travel in mountains, there are so many tall trees, right? So what could be the height of it? So will you use measuring tape? No. So there itself, this trigonometry height and distance concept, this comes into picture. And that is how we utilize. And what is actually we measure height and distance? That is using the trigonometric ratio, what already you have learned from my earlier videos. The link for these trigonometric ratio specific classes you will find in the description section below for this particular video. Okay, so let's start it. Height and distance, just it's a very simple thing. Very simple thing. If you know sine theta, cos theta, tan theta, there is nothing into it. Just understand the concept. It's very simple, but it's very useful, right? Let's say there is a tower BC. You are standing at position A, and the distance, horizontal distance from this tower is AB, and you are trying to measure the height of this particular tower. So what is the mechanism? First understand the terms what I am going to say, then I will tell you what is the simple mechanism. So when you are looking at the top of the tower, that means you are at A, you are looking at C, that means AC is your line of sight. In which angle you are looking at this? So the angle, the line of sight is AC, and the angle between the line of sight and this particular distance, horizontal distance, this is called angle of elevation. So basically what you can see, this tower CB and the horizontal AB and CD, AB and BC, these two are perpendicular to each other. So that means triangle ABC, this is rectangle triangle, where AB is the distance of yours from the tower BC, and BC is the height of the tower, and the line of sight is AC, where with respect to this triangle ABC, rectangle triangle ABC, AC is the hypotenuse. So with respect to your trigonometric ratio, if you know the distance AB, and also if you can measure this angle BAC, which is angle of elevation, then you know the angle, you know this distance. What is the definition of tan theta? So tan of CAB equals to BC by AB, perpendicular by base. So if you know this angle, you can find out this value. Either it will be between with 0, 30, 45, 60, 90, where you know the values directly. Otherwise, you need to find it out from the natural sine, cos or tan table. So if you know this value of this trigonometric ratio, value of this trigonometric ratio for this particular angle of elevation, and you know the distance, then you can find out the height easily. Looks somehow odd, right? How will you find this angle? Right. So to measure this angle, how will you do this? There are different mechanisms. The clinometer, there is one apparatus called clinometer, CLINOMETER. If you take that particular apparatus, or even you can do it nowadays using your mobile app clinometer also. So where basically you can find out, if you look at the top of those the tower or building, then you can find out the angle with the horizontal. So that is angle of elevation you can find out. or very in the real life example, or the clinometer is the simplest one. But also in the field survey or in the forest department, where they find out the height of trees or height of tower, height of anything, they use mostly, even in the road department, PWD, they use theodometer, theodometer, theodometer. So there are apparatus, those are used to measure this angle of elevation. So somehow, if you know the angle of elevation, if you know the distance where from you are measuring the height with the object, that means here it is AB, then you can find out the height of that object, here it is BC. Now, when you are on the top of the tower, or you are top of a high-rise building, from there itself you are looking downstairs, right? You are looking at downside, that means this arrow, right? So where from actually you are trying to measure the distance, this distance itself, then actually you are looking not upwards but downwards. So in that case, the angle, this line of sight is same. Here it is AC when you are looking upward, here it is CA when it is looking downward. But the angle is always not with the object, always the angle for angle elevation. Here the angle is this one. This is the angle of elevation, CAB. When you are looking from top towards downwards, in that case, this is the angle with the horizontal part, line of sight. So the angle of elevation, this is called angle of depression. ACD is the angle of depression. That means your angle of elevation equals to angle of depression, because these two are alternate angle, right? So your angle of elevation is always equal to your angle of depression, but when you are looking downwards, then the angle between your line of sight and the horizontal line is called angle of depression. When you are looking upwards, then the angle between your line of sight and the horizontal, that is called angle of elevation. And what is this line of sight? This is line of sight is nothing but the hypotenuse of this rectangle triangle. That is it, nothing else in this chapter. So you have apparatus to measure angle of elevation or angle of depression in real life example. So always these, either the angle will be given or the distance. There are different scenarios. Let's say the angle already it is given and the distance with the object it is given. You are asked to find out the height of that object, the height of the tree, height of the mountain, height of the building. Then easily you can find it out, because tan theta equals to perpendicular by base, or sin theta equals to perpendicular by hypotenuse, or cos theta equals to base by hypotenuse. So these three formulas are used. Wherever it is used, what is will be used, that is based on the question, based on the answer they are looking for. Right? So when you know the distance of the between the object and where from you are measuring the distance, that is AB, and also you know the angle of elevation or angle of depression, in that case you can measure the height also using trigonometric ratio formula. Or another scenario is where you know the height of the object and also you know the angle of elevation or angle of depression, and you are asked to find out the distance between the object and where from this measurement is done, that is AB. So where BC is already known, this angle of elevation BAC or the angle of depression DCA, that is known, you are asked to find out AB. Or this angle of elevation, angle of depression is known and this distance is known, you are asked to find out the height BC. That is why this chapter name is height and distance. Either you will be asked to find out the height or you will be asked to find out the distance. So this is very simple thing, but very commonly used in real life, where you don't need to have any measuring tape. Simply you will utilize your trigonometry ratio and angle of elevation, angle of depression, that is being told to you. Okay, so here it is angle of elevation CAB. You are looking from A towards C. line of sight AC, when and the angle of depression is when you are at C and the object is at A, then the angle of depression is DCA, which is actually equal to CAB. That is the alternate angle. That is why angle of depression equals to DCA equals to CAB. And what is the line of sight? When you are looking upwards, line of sight is AC, and when you are looking downwards, line of sight is CA. So which is same, AC and CA. With respect to the triangle, when somebody will tell you line of sight is with this angle with the base, that means line of sight is actually nothing but the hypotenuse. Okay. So now another example I am giving you. Right. Let's say there is one tower T1, another tower is T2. T2 is taller than T1. And you are at tower T1. Let's say you are at any floor, 5th floor, 6th floor, whatever it is. So from a certain floor, from your room, you are seeing there is such a high-rise building I can see from here. So you would like to understand the distance between these two towers, where you know the height already. Somebody has told you this is a very high-rise tower. Do you know how much height it is? So they have given you the height of the tower. You know somehow the height of the tower. Now you are supposed to find out how far you are horizontally from that particular tower. That is the distance between T1 and T2. Then from A you are using a clinometer. So now what you need to do, you need to measure angle of elevation with respect to the top of the tower. You need to measure angle of depression with respect to the bottom of the tower. Okay. So now look into the problem. So you are at tower T1 at a certain height where the point is A. The height of tower 2 CD, that is already given. Height of T2 is 400 feet. Now from point A, you are looking at the top of the building or top of the tower T2, that is towards AC is the line of sight. Therefore, the angle between the line of sight and the horizontal, which is AB. See this angle of elevation BAC, that is given angle of elevation in triangle ABC, where B is 90 degree. ABC, B is 90 degree and AC is the line of sight. The CAB or the BAC, this angle is 60 degree. Angle of depression, when you are considering angle of depression, you are considering a triangle ABD, this rectangle triangle where ABD is 90 degree. So angle of depression where the line of sight is AD, you are looking downwards. That is why the arrow towards downward direction. So angle of depression is BAD, where it is given 30 degree. So let's assume this AB, that is X. Let's assume AB as X. You need to find out this value X. This is actually, it is given 60 degree angle of elevation. This is actually given as 30 degree angle of depression, right? So in triangle ABC, C angle CAB, tan of angle CAB, that is equals to tan 60 degree, that is equals to root over, what is the value of tan 60? That is root over 3, or what you can say, tan of CAB means BC by AB. So assume BC is Y. Therefore BD will be, so BD is 400 minus Y, BC is Y. You are assuming BC is Y, therefore BD is 400 minus Y, because the entire height of the entire T2, that is CD, equals to 400. So BD equals to CD minus BC, that is 400 minus Y. Therefore tan CAB, what you can write down, perpendicular by base. Always you know the angle is always given with respect to hypotenuse, the angle between hypotenuse and base. I have said that repeatedly in my earlier classes where I explain trigonometry ratio, right? So CAB, tan of CAB means CB by AB. So CB by AB, that is equals to root over 3. CB is, you assumed Y, so Y by X equals to root over 3, right? So Y equals to root over 3x. from this triangle ABD, where angle of depression, here you will consider angle of depression, that is BAD, that is given 30 degree. So from triangle ABD, tan of BAD equals to tan of 30 degree, that is equals to 1 by root 3. And what is tan of BAD? Tan of BAD means BD by AB, perpendicular by base. BD is 400 minus Y. So 400 minus Y divided by AB divided by X equals to 1 by root 3. So here you have one equation, y equals to root over 3x. Another equation you will find out y and x. So you have two equations, two variable. You can find out the value of x from here, right? So that is how actually trigonometry height and distance, that is required to find out either distance or the height given the angle of elevation. Or sometimes the height and distance is given, you need to find out the angle of elevation or angle of depression. That is also could be. So whichever way, you are supposed to utilize your sin theta, cos theta, tan theta knowledge, trigonometric ratio knowledge, and what is angle of elevation, what is angle of depression, that you have understood here. One, what is the line of sight, right? So I believe you understood. And what is the real life example, that is also I have given you here. So if you liked it, please click on the like button. And if you want to have more and more videos, in that case, you subscribe my YouTube channel, Dev's Learning Hub, and also join my Facebook page, Dev's Learning Hub. Okay, thank you very much.